Hey there, I'm Lady Ann, founder of the Irresistible Woman Mentorship Program, and I want to officially welcome you to Married. So, this is our first episode of the Married series, and I'm so excited. Now, first of all, let's do a little bit of introduction. What is marriage? So, Married is designed specifically to equip the engaged or the married woman with the wisdom that is needed to cultivate a deep and meaningful relationship or connection with your husband. You see, marriage is an institution that was created by God. And this truth, like my husband will always say, it has implications. The first implication is that because marriage was God's idea, only God's wisdom can build a strong, fruitful, and a long lasting marriage. Do you remember in the book of Genesis when God told Noah that there was going to be um, a flood as a result of his judgment, and it was important for Noah to build an ark? Noah could have just run along with that instruction and then go, think up an idea. But that would not have done anything for him. He needed God to give him the blueprint for that ark. Because that ark was not just going to carry Noah and his wife. Noah's sons and their wives are going to be on that ark. And two of every animal that God wanted to preserve for the next generation had to be on that ark. We're talking about elephants and lions and tigers and different types of animals and the birds that fly in the air. All those animals had to be on the ark. Who else can show Noah how to build that ark except the one who told him about the ark in the first place? That's exactly what marriage is. So it's a God idea and it needs the God type of wisdom to navigate it so that the marriage remains strong, it remains beautiful, there remains a bond and intimacy between the husband and the wife, and it remains fruitful. The Bible says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 2 and 4, that through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding that house is established. Just remove the word house and put the word marriage in there because the Bible uses the word house, to describe both the life of a person but also to describe a home. And so you can say through wisdom a marriage is built, and by understanding that marriage is established. A second implication about the fact that marriage was created by God is that any marriage that is not fulfilling the purpose of God, which is the creator of the marriage, that marriage will face tremendous attack. I'm trying not to even say it exactly how I put it here. It has grievous impact when a marriage is not fulfilling the purpose for which it was created. Do you understand me? There are various reasons why God created marriage. And as you and I begin to go along this journey, I am also going to be showing you many of the reasons why God created marriage and how you can align with those reasons. However, a marriage that is fulfilling the purpose for its creation has created an opportunity or a force that will keep that marriage together. If you think that just having kids alone will keep the both of you together forever, you're very mistaken. Go and check the rate of divorces and notice that many of those couples are getting a divorce after their kids are all grown and left the house. Look at some of the wealthiest people in the world right now who had recent divorces. Many of their kids are grown. Many of their kids are married and with kids, and you would think, okay, this is the time for them to enjoy their lives. But no, the marriage was still vulnerable to a divorce even after they had spent years and decades together training their children. So that is not a binding factor for a couple. That's the second implication. The third implication for the statement that I started with by saying that God is the one who created marriage is that because God created marriage, the enemy is after marriage as well. Look at the Garden of Eden. Adam is in there. We don't hear about the serpent speaking to Adam. That serpent was there all the while. We don't hear him, she, whatever, speaking to Adam all this while. Eve comes into the picture. They begin to do purpose together. And all of a sudden, the serpent begins to speak. What is Satan so afraid of when it comes to marriage? Why Why is he so against marriage? Why is he so against marriage that even before a person is married, he's already preparing that person for a failed marriage? Look at the society today. Look at the mindset in the lives of men. Look at the mindset in the lives of women. And tell me if those people are not already setting themselves for a failed marriage. Satan is opposing that institution of marriage, and he has a track record of going after anything that brings God glory. And that's what one of the things that marriage is supposed to do. It was supposed to bring God glory. And to you, as a married woman or as an engaged woman who is about to be married, you must go into marriage with this understanding. First things first, I'm going into an institution that was created by God. Second important note is that this institution I'm going into, I need the wisdom of God. I need the wisdom of God. I need the divine wisdom of God to navigate it. Third thing is, I'm going into a battlefield. Listen, I am going into a battlefield. The enemy is about to come at us like never before. And so I must understand that as beautiful as the honeymoon is, and as beautiful as this thing, this connection, this bond, this attraction that I have with my husband is, my marriage is something that the enemy doesn't want to stand. And so I cannot be sleeping while I'm on the battlefield. Do you understand? There is wisdom necessary for each of these points that I have just mentioned to you. And so it is very important for married couples to be armed with the wisdom that is needed to build a marriage. Just like Proverbs showed us, like I read earlier, it is very important that you are armed with the wisdom of God on how to build that marriage, establish it, and how to secure your marriage through the wind and through the storm. But not just that, because you're not just coming into marriage, come and be fighting against kingdom of darkness. You're coming into this marriage, or you are already in this marriage, so that you can extend the frontiers of God's kingdom through that institution, through that home, through that marriage. What does that mean? How do you do that? How do you extend the frontiers of God's kingdom through your marriage? How can your marriage leave a lasting impact? There are many marriages today that you can mention when you think about certain things that they have done, and you look back and you're like, wow, thank God that they got married. If they had not gotten married, we wouldn't be blessed with this thing that we're not being blessed with. That's what your marriage is also meant to do. It's supposed to impact, even in your absence. I still know of a couple, both of them are no longer alive, but the wisdom that they left behind as a result of their union, it still has impact, even in my generation, and I'm sure my children's generation. They will come across that wisdom, because wisdom is eternal. Because the one who owns wisdom is eternal. And so it doesn't have an expiration date. And that's the purpose, one of the things that God has made your marriage to do. But how does that wisdom find expression? How does that marriage begin to bear fruit for the glory of God? That's one of the things that we want to help you to navigate through the married series. And so, in order to be able to help you to speak directly to some of the questions that you might be having in your marriage, questions from intimacy to navigating relationship with opposite sex, to career shift, to working together, partnering with your spouse, your husband, your wife, partnering with them when it comes to certain things or certain visions that you both have, to in-laws, to training children for the sake to extend the frontiers of God's kingdom. Whatever kind of questions that you might have, we want to be able to provide you answers specifically to those questions, using the wisdom of God, standing on the wisdom of God, sharing with you the wisdom of God. By the grace of God, my husband and I have been married now going on 8 years, as at the time this video was published, right? And we have experienced many things together as a couple. We also understand the concept, the wisdom of a kingdom marriage, and that's what we want to help you to navigate. And so, in order to be able to ensure that we are providing you with the wisdom for your specific questions, we've created a link just for you. So if you're engaged or married, when you click on the description box below, the first link that is there is for you to send us your questions. Send us your questions, those things that you're like, okay, lady, and I'm married, or I'm engaged to, and we're about to be married, and this is one thing or the other that I'm trying to deal with. I don't know how to navigate it. Even if you're a husband as well, by the way, whether you're a husband or your wife, our majority of our audience are women. However, if you're a husband here and you're like, listen, lady, and my wife doesn't listen to you, but I already listen to you, and we have questions. I don't know if your husband and you can, shed some God, divine wisdom from the by the Spirit of God over this matter. Send us your questions, and as you send us your questions, we will be answering them as God gives us, and as He empowers us to do so. We look forward to actually receiving all your questions. Go ahead and send it, and your question might just be the next question that I will be answering on the next episode on the marriage series. Until then, God bless you, and may the Lord keep your home, keep your marriage, and may your marriage bring God glory all the days of your life in the name of Jesus. See you next time. God bless you. Bye for now.